It's been a bad couple of days for somebody in particular in the world of football, and that somebody is Will Campbell. And it started by the wretched Pete Prisco, who went out and made Will Campbell out like he was a T-Rex.
Dang, T-Rex arms.
He goes out in the Super Bowl. He struggles.
His arms was too short.
like he's Mr. Potato Head or something. He's got his arms are coming out of his torso. It's just weird. And so he's been hearing it. He's been getting it left and right. And so Mike Vrabel was asked yesterday in meeting with the media following the loss a couple of days ago about the performance of Will Campbell and the future of Will Campbell, and it sounded like this.
Mike, I wanted to ask you about Will Campbell. And I think because when he was coming out of the draft, some teams viewed him as a guard, others viewed him as a tackle. I guess his season has been looked at and scrutinized.
Just like everybody's has, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you had. When you sign up to play left tackle, you sign up to play corner, you sign up to play quarterback, you sign up to be the head coach. You get judged, you get scrutinized. Will's 22 years old. He's our left tackle. He'll get better, he'll get stronger. Moments where he played well, moments where he blocked a guy. There's plays he'd like to have back. We're not moving Will to guard or to center or to tight end or anywhere else. I don't know what to tell you.
So, sorry, Pete. He will be staying at
staying
tackle,
there.
according to
this guy on TV looked like
according to Mike Vrabel.
Same tent.
So there's the outlook.
I got a question about this. I think we'd all agree he struggled. It's fair to say. It wasn't a great year for them on that side of the ball. I mean, they're two rookies, so to Mike Vrabel's point, they will get better. They'll grow, they'll mature, they'll improve their technique, all those things. But there was that concern about his arm length as a tackle to play in the NFL. And LaVar, you could speak to this better than anyone else. I mean, how important is length for a tackle going up against an edge rusher?
I mean, everybody pays attention to length. If you're long, you're dangerous. You got to be paid attention to, approached a little differently. If your arms are short, your base had better be phenomenal. Like Jonathan Ogden didn't have long arms. He was a shorter arm tackle, and he's one of the greatest to ever do it. But his ability to stay in front of you and line you up and absorb, that's what Will Campbell is going to have to learn to do if he's going to be successful on the blind side of the quarterback side is he's going to have to learn how to absorb that initial long arm, because what you do with guys like that is you long arm them. And when you're able to long arm a guy and you're able to get your hand to the inside of where their throat is or where their pads are, then either you're going to succumb to it, like, get pushed back, or you're able to absorb. And then now your arm length actually becomes an asset to you, because if you're able to get a hold of them up under those, up under the breast. All right, we'll call it the breast because they call it, coaches call it a different thing, and I don't want to be inappropriate on there. But you get your hands up on there, you shoot them up under there, and now you're pressing back on that defender. He's going to have to learn how to do it. Like, maybe you could get away with it in college because you might have been physically dominant enough, you might have been athletic enough to do it, but he's got to watch the film on what it is that he's got to do, and he's got to figure out how to adjust to it. But, yeah, I mean, if you have short arms, you definitely are going to have defenders that do short arm pass rushes against you. And that's what it is, that you try to keep their hands off of you.
So my point is, this soon after the loss, maybe we don't commit to anything. Like how do you know? How do you know you're trying to put your best 5 offensive linemen on the field for a quarterback in Drake May that I think, outside of the playoffs where he struggled, he had a great season. And we can talk about the strength of schedule, the teams they went up against and all that, but he was 1 vote away from sharing the MVP. So whatever you want to say about Drake May because of how he looked at the playoffs, how he looked in the Super Bowl, it's irrelevant. He's a quarterback in his second year playing at a really high level and got his team to the Super Bowl. I would think that you want to try to put your best 5 offensive linemen out there in the field. And this feels like, I don't know, maybe it's pride, maybe it's an emotional response. But if I was Mike Vrabel, I honestly would be like, hey, look, we just lost. We're going to look at trying to improve our team in every capacity, in every spot, and evaluate everything. And, obviously Will didn't play as well as we would have liked him to. But, and so he's got work to do. But if we feel like he's best at left tackle, we're going to play him at left tackle. If we feel like he could help our team win a Super Bowl at guard, we'll put him at guard. But as of right now, we're not making any decisions. We're trying to evaluate stuff. We're trying to make our team as best as we possibly can in 2026 to try to go win a Super Bowl. That's all you need to say. Like, I don't think you need to stubbornly commit to a guy who maybe he's not built to be a tackle in the NFL, and that's okay. I don't know if he was involved with the draft pick, and because of that, then it makes it looked bad that you spent a 4th overall pick on a guy who's a guard. Like, my personal opinion's like, does it matter? If that guy ends up being a Hall of Famer, a perennial All-Pro at guard, and he was the 4th overall, that doesn't matter? He's protecting your quarterback. He's helping you win Super Bowls, hopefully. And so regardless of whether he's a tackle or a guard, I mean, clearly they needed help in every spot, it felt like. But like I feel like if this is about where they spent the pick, what does it matter if you end up putting him in a position where he can excel there as opposed to tackle where he maybe just be okay? It may always be an uphill battle because of either his short arms, his technique, not being able to improve it to the point where he can truly excel. This just feels more like kind of a prideful, emotional, stubborn response as opposed to saying like, yeah, after that performance versus that team, we got a lot of things to evaluate, a lot of things to look at potentially changing.
I'll just say this.
He wanted to have his players back.
You got to have, for one, you do have to have your players back. I mean, this is the time to have you should always have them, but you definitely need to have them.
Did it sound like what I just said, though, didn't have his back?
It's what you're saying has accuracy to it, but I would say if you take the other side of it, and it could be considered to be stubborn, but he could be looking at it like, we made it to the Super Bowl in my first year. That's further than I've ever made it as a coach. And while people may have their opinions about my players, nobody knows my players like I know my players. That's probably the way he's looking at it. That's probably the way he's internalizing it. So, I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, if you're going to be a good coach, you have to have a tad bit, you have to be touched with narcissism. You have to have a little bit because you can't sway the way of the opinion and of the wind every single time it sways. Like, I would never do that with any of my players. As a coach, listen, if somebody has something to say, they could very well be right in what their estimation of it is. But seeing that person every single day, knowing what their habits are, knowing what they need to work on from the most detailed aspect of the approach, I think that's what you heard come out of him in that moment. Like, I'm going to ride with him because whether people's analysis, whether your analysis is 100% correct or whether it's 100% off, it really shouldn't matter to them. The only thing that matters is go back, do your film review, see where it is that you came up short, because there were more players than just Will Campbell that came up short in that game, and you figure out where you go from there. They could have been better as coaches. Your first year group of head coaches coaching this team, they could have done better schematically. Like, figure it out. They created a tight end. The tight end's position became a more prominent role because LT had everybody looking like a Will Campbell when he was out there on the field. They had to figure it out. Oh, we're going to use another tight end. Figure it out. That's, so I think they could all did things a little bit better in that game.
Outside of, we talked about Mac Hollins and Christian Gonzalez, maybe Milton Williams, who had a good game for New England? But who?
Their defense had a good game.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Their
but
defense had a good game.
all right, and Christian Gonzalez and Milton Williams, and that's awesome. But I look at it, I go, yeah, it's more than just Will Campbell, but he's the guy that the spotlight is on because somebody's got to get it because it's easier that way.
Well, they almost broke the sack record in the game, but all those sacks didn't come on Will Campbell.
But I think in coming out and saying and being defiant and stubborn and saying, no, he's a tackle, we're not moving him anywhere else, all of that is done now is it's going to put a bigger spotlight on Will Campbell next year to where if he gets beat one time in a preseason game, here we go again.
Well, that's what it's meant for, isn't it?
But
the Super Bowl is meant to build. What now? If it's build something that's negative, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I mean, we're not saying that about Drake May, are we? You know what I mean? Like Drake May didn't have the greatest game, and I mean, you can't say every single play Drake May had a poor game because Will Campbell can't block these guys. Like, well, maybe you can. Maybe you can. But I'm just saying, Drake May didn't have the best game. We're not talking about replacing Drake May. And he's white.
Yeah,
keep that in mind. Imagine if it was Lamar Jackson.
That's a great point.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a great point.
His decision-making was just so slow.
Yeah.
His legs didn't bail him out in this game.
That's got to be racist.
You know what? It bailed him out enough. 36.5 was the rushing prop for Drake May. Hit 37. Son of a bitch.
He should have ran more, man. He should have ran more, early on. Just pull it down and go.
But yeah, I know why. I think I know why Mike Vrabel came out and was defending Will Campbell.
Why?
Well, no, just defending him because he knows sort of the heat and criticism he's getting. No, but I just think
here it comes.
Kind of to Brady's point.
Yep.
Why commit to it 2 days after a Super Bowl loss in which he got kind of exposed a little bit at that position, right or wrong, whoever you want to give credit for, his short arms, the defense, his technique, the offensive line coach, whatever it is, why come out 2 days afterwards, be steadfast in your commitment to him at that position when a lot of people saw that as an issue coming into the draft, and now you're almost pot committed to that, and if he goes out and struggles again, people are going to ask more and more questions about it. I think that's where you kind of put him in a tough spot going into next year. But
everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Well, and that's right. I don't understand why they feel the need to commit to it now. Like there's no need to commit to it. You also don't know how the draft would pan out. Maybe you fall in line with a tackle that drops to you that you love, and you're like, hey man, we feel like we might be able to shore up our offensive line. Maybe guys, move on, and you want to move some pieces around up front on the offense line. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen. That if it's me and I watched our offense struggle the way it did, and I have a chance to improve our offensive line, I just want to get the best 5 guys out there. Like it doesn't matter to me. Like I'll look at it this way: if let's say Will Campbell could become the next Quentin Nelson at guard, would you take that if you're New England? Yeah, I think everyone hands down would be like, oh well, yeah, like we'd love to have a staple in our offensive line for the next decade,
or even
an all-pro.
Joe Tooney, at times they'll move him back to tackle just in an emergency situation, and you can argue maybe he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, yeah, I'm with you. I don't see who cares what the letter is next to his name when you're looking at Pro Football Reference. If the guy's an all-pro and he helps your team, what does it matter where he plays?
Or if you make it to Super Bowls. Let's be clear here. Or if you make it to Super Bowls.
Oh, they're never going back.
Well, you can say that if you want to. We can say that they weren't going to go this year.
Okay.
We can say that they weren't going to go this year. First year head coach.
No, that was
a young quarterback.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. I'm just saying that's fine. It could be a bold claim, but they made it to the Super Bowl.
It doesn't mean he can't be a great player for them for the next.
How many left tackles played in the Super Bowl this year? 2?
Yeah, we had 2.
All right. Huh? So Will Campbell didn't play?
Well, I don't know. Some people don't think he's a left tackle. So again, you go back to that.
So
discussion.
They were out there without a left tackle.
But I don't see. Yeah, who cares
in the Super Bowl?
Who cares what it is? If he goes out and he's a great
player.
Let me
ask y'all this. I know we're up on it, but let me ask y'all this: their efforts delivered them a Super Bowl appearance. if I told you that this team, the way it's constructed, can make it to the Super Bowl more often than not, would you keep this lineup the same? Or would you risk it knowing that you could go backwards? Like, and this is a question I asked myself when we let James Franklin go. And I'm still curious to see how this is all going to play out. Yeah. Or do you say we can go to the next level, let's take the chance, let's shift it up, let's move it around, and let's go from there? Which one do you do? You made it to the Super Bowl. And you beat some good teams along the way. Again, I thought Houston would have been able to do what Seattle did to New England. They weren't. So what side would you guys fall on?
Yeah. CJ Stroud obviously played awful.
Yeah,
which,
he did.
That wasn't how Sam Darnold played, so it kind of changed things. I would say this. It's a hard question to answer because that's why head coaches get paid the big bucks. I mean, ultimately, do you think like, yeah, I'd love the chance to get back there again. I don't know if our team is going to play as bad as they did this past game. And you'd hope that he would improve. But the reality is, like, do you think he'll be able to get it done? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know next year if he's going to improve that much at the tackle spot to get it done. What I do know is Granger. Granger is for the ones who get it done. Granger offers access to over 1 million products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies, they're never far away. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by.